Hello everyone, welcome to day 2 of my Sunshine Vibes class to go. I am so excited to share this class to go with you this week. I have some amazing cards this week. Yesterday we made this beautiful card. Just super simple, but really fun. You could definitely mass produce this one to send to a bunch of different people. This would also make a great gift. You can mass produce maybe like 10 of them or something and give them away as a gift to somebody. People love to receive cards as gifts, so don't ever discount your hobby as anything, because you can definitely give those away. They love those. I'm featuring the Sunshine Vibes bundle for my class to go this for the first half of June. So when you order in my online store, if your order is over $50 or more, you're going to receive the Sunshine Vibes class to go between June 1st and June 15th. There are bonuses if your order is at $100 and $150. Make sure to check out video number 1 where I discuss all of these in full detail. There's also full details in the video description, so make sure you check that out. We're actually going to jump into today's card because it is a little bit more involved, but it is a stunner of a card. So check this out. So we have those rainbows from the dies there, and I don't know if you can see, but they are sparkly. We're gonna add some Winkastel. I think the light is catching it there. And it has this clear front, which I just love. We're gonna do some stamping on the inside. We're gonna use some window sheets and make this clear cover. Isn't that amazing? So adorable, right? I just love it. So it just really steps up the card a little bit with this extra little this extra stamp, this extra kind of detail on it. I forgot to get that stamp set out, so I'm gonna grab that one real quick while I am remembering, so we don't have to worry about it. Let me grab a block and we will be good to go. All right, let's get to let's do the stamping first, because we have to do the stamping before we assemble. So we're gonna stamp on this white piece in the background. So that is 4 by 5 1/4, and then we have a strip for our greeting that we're gonna stamp on. So I'm gonna get both of those pieces out, and all the measurements are in the video description, so don't worry about writing any of them down. I'm just gonna grab a scratch piece of paper, and we're gonna start with all the little stars, and we're gonna do those in Petal Pink. So let me grab my Petal Pink ink out. So we're going to just stamp these little stars, and I am going to just stamp one, and then I'll stamp another one without re-inking, and that'll give us a fun two-toned color, a fun two-toned stamping. And we're going to stamp another one, and let's see, where do I want to put that? I'll put that one down there. Stamp it a couple of times. Let me see. I just want to make sure that I get kind of what I did before, but you know, there's no right or wrong to these, so it's all right. All right, so we're just stamping a few of those little stars in Petal Pink, and that's it for Petal Pink. So I'm going to close that. All right, we're going to use Secret C. This is one of our new in colors. This is actually probably such a good color. It's such a good neutral. It's a really dark, kind of moody navy color, but it is so good for stamping stuff like this. If you don't want to use black, this is really a great alternative option. All right, I'm just lining up my paper on my grid paper here, and we're gonna stamp this one a little bit lower because we don't want it to be seen when the card is closed. So we're gonna stamp that below the halfway mark. All right, so that is that piece. Let's grab out this piece. This is going to be the greeting that goes on the front of our card. So hello darling. So I'm actually going to start with the end of the greeting. These are 2 different stamps. So I'm going to do darling first. Now if you just want to put hello, that's fine. If you want to put a different greeting on the front, that's fine too. We're just going to do darling, and then we'll do hello right next to it. Trying to line them up as straight as possible, and I think we did a good job. These block letters, block greetings are really easy to get nice and straight, nice and lined up. Okay, I'm going to, while I'm thinking of it, we're just going to trim this into a little banner edge. So I'm just going to make a little slit down the middle, and then I'll just go from corner to corner to the edge of that slit and just pop out these little things. And that's a quick and easy way to make that little banner edge. All right. Let's bring out the rest of our card pieces. So we have all of our pieces here. So we have our stamped pieces that we just stamped. We have a piece of cloud cover, another new in color. This is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. Then we have a piece of the window sheet, which is going to be a little bit harder to see on camera because it's completely clear, but we sell the window sheets. I always get asked, where do you get the window sheets? We sell them. You can get a package of 2 12 by 12 pieces, and they'll go a long way, I promise. This is 6 by 4, and then I just scored it at 5 1/4. Yeah, so you're going to be left with a 3/4 inch piece here. And yours, I will pre-fold it, but when you get yours, make sure you take your bone folder. The window sheets are much stiffer than cardstock, so you really want to take your bone folder and really, really burnish that good because it's really stiff, but it's beautiful to play with. Okay, then we have our rainbow pieces. Now, in your kit, you will receive a 1/4 piece of cardstock in each of these colors. So Daffodil Delight, the Secret Sea, Cajun Craze, Petal Pink, and Mossy Meadow. You're going to run it through, you're going to run each of those colors through with this die right here. And that's going to give you all the different layers of the rainbow. So you can see this card is a little bit different. So I'm still using the same die cut that I did for all of these. I got 5 of the Petal Pink, 5 of the Cajun Craze, 5 of the Daffodil Delight, and so on and so on. So I'm just making my rainbow go in a different order. And I used all those same pieces. You'll see that again later in the week on different cards, that I use the same pieces. Now, if you want your rainbows to all look exactly the same, then you can just die cut multiple passes of that, and then if you always want the Petal Pink on top and so on. So I hope that makes sense, but we're going to do different orientations of our color in our rainbow, and that's okay. And I really love this like moody tone rainbow. All right, now other pieces, so you have the piece of the DSP, and other pieces that are die cut. You'll receive some cloud die cuts. These are done with the fancy borders dies. So you're going to receive a shorter one. That's going to go on the front. And then you're going to receive 2 that are the exact same size. They were die cut exactly together. So they are the exact same size, the exact same border. And I'm going to tell you why you need both of these exactly the same size once we get to that point in our card making. So I'm going to move the rainbows out of the side for now, move the clouds out of the way, and let's focus on these pieces, our stamped pieces and our window sheet and our card base. Okay. All right, I'm going to take some strong adhesive. For this, I'm using my Stampin' Seal Plus. You can use your Tombow, whatever you want to use. I'm going to put adhesive on the back of our stamped inside piece. So this is our white piece that we stamped. And I'm going to put a couple of lines of adhesive on here. Nice, strong adhesive. All right, now I'm going to take my window sheet and I'm going to lay it so this little panel is on the top. And we're just going to line it up. So it should line up perfectly. They're both 4 inches wide and they should both be 4 1/4. And I'm just going to fold that back piece over. So now this is basically just one piece. So we just folded that onto the adhesive on the back. Hope that makes sense. All right, I'm going to put more adhesive on this. Make sure you put some on that window sheet, and this will go right onto our card base. And now we have a card with a window sheet front. All right, let's get this adhered. I'm going to add adhesive to the back of the greeting. And we're just going to put the DSP kind of right below that greeting, just to add a little bit of extra something to the greeting. All right. Let's get to assembling the rest of the cards. So you're going to take those 2 pieces of clouds that are exactly the same size, and you're going to take one of them and we're going to adhere one of them to the front. I'm just going to use my regular adhesive for this. We're going to adhere one of them to the very front, and we're going to adhere that to the bottom of the window sheet. So we're lining up the edges, the 2 side edges and the bottom with the window sheet. So I'm going to try to do this without, the window sheet is a little bit harder to see. So I'm trying to line this up. It's okay. I'm making this look harder than it is, guys. Don't worry. Okay, I think we got it. Okay. Now, The reason you're going to need one that's the exact same size is because you're going to be able to see all that adhesive through the window sheet. So when you open it up, you're going to have a side that is just not so pretty. Then we don't want that. So we're going to take that other piece that is the exact same size. We're going to make sure that we're lining it up the correct way. And we're going to put adhesive on it. And that's going to sandwich in that adhesive. And so we're not going to see that adhesive. I'm going to line up the edges here. That's going to make it easier. There we go. So we're not going to see any of that adhesive. We're only going to see that smooth white cardstock on the inside. All right. Okay. Now that I just told you that, now we're going to adhere the rainbows, and we're not putting anything on the inside. So you will see the rainbow adhesive, but I'm going to give you a trick for that. Now, if you want that adhesive to be completely hidden, you can actually die cut the rainbows with adhesive sheets. And then when you stick them on, they stick just like stickers and the adhesive isn't seen at all. So we're going to do something pretty much similar to that. I'm going to use my liquid glue, but I'm going to spread it out and make sure that it's a nice thin layer over the entire back. So when it sits down, it's just going to look glossy from the inside. All right, I'm actually going to start with my smallest arch. So I'm going to pull in in this case, this is my Mossy Meadow arch. On my sample one, it was Night of Navy, the Secret Sea. And so I'm actually going to grab my tweezers. I found this is easier with tweezers. If you don't want to mess with the liquid glue, I would definitely recommend using an adhesive sheet before you die cut, because that is going to show the least. So I have a little thin layer of glue there, and it's mostly spread out. And once we stick it down, it's going to kind of squish out and really spread out. Okay, so we're going to stick this on. And this is going to be the only one that is a full arch. And I'm just going to stick that onto the left side, making sure you press really well on that arch so it spreads out. Sorry guys, if you're hearing my dog, he is freaking out because he can't find me. I locked him out of the room and he can't find me, so he's starting to freak out. So I do apologize if you can hear him barking. All right, so we're going to move on to the next rainbow. Now the arch on the left side is going to hang off, so that's where I'm going to hold it. But we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to put some adhesive on, just like that. And we're just going to line this up. So just line up the bottoms, and then we'll just give that a good press. And again, if you're using adhesive sheets, it's going to hold instantly. You're not going to have to worry about glue drying or anything. The adhesive sheets are a dream. And you'll use the adhesive sheet. You can use those later too in the projects we're doing later. Okay, so some glue. And the Cajun Craze one goes right on. Just like that. Give that a good burnish. We're almost done. 2 more arches to go for our rainbow. Just a little bit of glue. A little goes a long way with our glue, and it just occurred to me that I probably should have checked my how high my cloud border goes before I put these on. So what I am referring to is this one. This is going to cover up those arches. So I should have started my rainbow much lower because my cloud needs to go down here. So do you see what I mean? I should have started it lower, but what I'll do is I'll just move my cloud up, and then I'll just put another piece of white to cover up this border down here. Or we can even just put the greeting a little lower down here like this, and that'll cover it up. So don't worry about it. If you put your rainbow too high, that's fine. There is always a way to fix it. So I put mine up too high, but we'll fix it. It's okay. There's no mistakes. We can always fix it. All right, and then our final arch here is the Daffodil Delight one. We're gonna stick that down. All right, now I'm gonna let these completely dry before we do all of our trimming. So let's bring in our second little cloud border. This one we're gonna put on with dimensionals. I'm gonna grab those. So put a few dimensionals on this. And then I'm just going to make sure that all of those arches, the bottoms of those arches, are mostly covered. I think I'm just going to do that I know this yellow arch bottom is not completely covered, but you can always add a little cloud there. You can add an embellishment there. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll add the embellishment there so that we don't see that border. So don't worry, there's always room for fixing any little mistake. Don't ever worry about that. All right, I'm gonna add some dimensionals to the bottom of my greening here. And I'm adding it directly to the bottom because this is gonna overhang just a little bit, just like that. So you can't even really notice that that cloud piece doesn't go all the way to the bottom. Okay. All right, I hope all that makes sense. I hope I didn't confuse you too much with all of that, talk. All right, now we're gonna go through and I'm just gonna trim off these excess rainbow pieces. Okay, there we go. We'll move these out of the way. And we are going to add some Wink of Stella to all the arches, and that's just going to make them nice and glittery. Just going to add some nice shine to all of them, some nice glitter. You can leave this part off for sure if you don't want to add the sparkle. That's okay. Okay. That little touch of Wink of Stella just adds so much fun sparkle. All right, we're going to finish this off with some of our dots, and we're going to use these cloud cover ones. So I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to use one of these big ones to disguise the bottom arch down here that I didn't fully get the cloud to cover. And then we'll just put one right next to it, and nobody will ever know. That'll be our little secret. And then I'm going to take another little one and we'll just put that down here by the greeting, just like that. So see, nobody will ever know. It's our little secret. All right, that is card number 2. I hope you enjoyed this one. Remember, when you started hearing the arches, just make sure that you measure where your top layer of cloud is going to land to cover up those arches. Once you get that down, adhering that rainbow is super easy, but both rainbows look amazing. I love the color patterns in both of them. So again, it doesn't matter in which order you started hearing them. So I hope you guys love this card. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss another card. I still have 2 more cards for this class to go, so those will be shared tomorrow and the day after. So make sure you join me then. Until then, have a great day. Bye.